whole subject about are we on the road for extinction? I really do not think that. I think we have many women and women of color in roles now that are absolutely ready for the next step and so forth. And I think as they are moving in that direction, there are just certain things that I think we have definitely learned in our careers, and that it's going to be helpful to them. And many of them are doing some of those things now. But as we have thought about what actually got us to the top and what actually kept us to the top, I would think as we have our discussion, continue to talk about some of those. For example, as folks are contemplating their next step, and to Ruth's point, as you are planning your career, it's always so important to be intentional about what I want my next step to be. And we've talked about occasionally about having your own group of people, whether you call that your kitchen cabinet or your board of directors, to help you move forward. So that when you have those moments, because as you matriculate to the top, it gets lonely and lonelier, as you indicated. You were the first, and many, Ruth and I probably were the first. In some places, are the only one at the table, or the one of two at the table. The idea is not to let that continue to be the case, that you're the only one and only two, as you've indicated, Chalice, making sure when you leave and you leave a legacy, that you aren't just leaving and everything that you built to that point has ended. So I think as we look at the future, I think it's bright. I think the challenges are still going to be there, but each person has to plan and be intentional and do some of those things that they need to do. As you look at it, each one of us, we have had to relocate. It's very hard to reach the top if you stay in the same place your whole career. That could happen, but it doesn't happen most of the time. So there are some things that each person has to be intentional about in planning how they want to get to the top. And if we can probably spend a little time talking about how do you stay to the top once you get there. And then I know we're going to talk about the fact that we've paved the way here. So, we're looking forward to people just stepping in there and taking advantage of the times that we're in because this is a season that opportunities exist, and we'll have to determine, and they will have to determine how you step into those opportunities.